Hello everyone, I am the Hexagon that tessellates, and today is the April of 23rd, it is the VEDA day of 23, and I'm running out of ways to vary this opening, clearly. Anyway, today's a Thursday, and also the deadline of one of my assignments, which has all been nice and dealt with, and that's quite a relief. But yes, it's a Thursday, so it's time for another top 10 or 5, and since the last two have been top 10s, I'm going to have another top 5, partly because I couldn't think of very many things to go on this list anyway, so yeah. Now, I will introduce this one by saying that I'm not really the biggest fan of TV. I don't really watch that much TV. Typically, I'll either be playing video games or just watching YouTube videos because I am a YouTuber, so I kind of need to be abreast of current video norms. I would say trends, but I enjoy Let's Plays more than I enjoy TV shows. But that said, I'm going to be doing my personal top 5 heavy continuity TV shows, and emphasis on the heavy continuity. It's not just any old TV show that I happen to watch, any old series. No, it has to be ones where the continuity of the series is a big deal, like a huge deal. And I struggled to come up with the 5 on the... Well, I could come up with 4 of them fairly easily, but starting with number 5, this one, I did struggle to think of a 5th one, but it ended up being this. Torchwood, or, well, specifically Series 4 of Torchwood, the Miracle Day series. I feel like I should have been into Torchwood earlier, but I never really got into it, and then the series Miracle Day, that caught my attention for, I don't even know why, but it was interesting, and I watched it, and I enjoyed it. And I would say I've not got back into Torchwood since, but I think there hasn't been another series since then, so I don't really have anything else to say about it. I mean, it's well written, it's written by the Doctor Who people, because Torchwood is an anagram of Doctor Who, and it works, it has intrigue, what else is there to say? It's a bit more action heavy, I suppose, or at least that series was, partly because it was co-produced with the bloody Americans. And for some reason, America got to see each episode about a week in advance, which I highly resent. But whatever, I think I'll live. Anyway, 4th on the list is, well, if you didn't see this coming, I feel bad for you. Doctor Who, which is an anagram of Torchwood, funnily enough, it's written by the Torchwood people. No, but I have been a Whovian for some time. I admit I've not partaken of the classic series, but it's not that easy to get a hold of without either spending money or making effort, and like I said, I'm not super into TV. But I don't remember exactly when it was that I joined the fandom. It was somewhere between the 9th and the 10th Doctors, and I've since become a proper fan, because at first I didn't much care for it, but then I grew to enjoy it. But don't ask me which one my favourite Doctor is, because I can't pick a favourite. They'll have their own merits, I'll put it that way. But admittedly, people have been criticising the more recent series for being too plot-holy or something, I don't know, but that feels a lot just like the traditionalist Eurovision fans who aren't happy unless they're complaining about something to do with the latest edition of the contest. Like, it seems a bit of the Gen 1er effect from Pokemon. Oh, if it's not the classic old version of it, then it must automatically be shit, because that was good then, but this is now, and it's been produced now, therefore it's shit. Oh, go die in a hole. But yeah, just take it for what it is. It's an entertaining and well-written and thought-provoking sci-fi show. And I would slip in at this point a reference to Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, which has all the same merits, except without the plot holiness that people complain of. But I'd like to have that on this list, but it's not heavy continuity. It's every episode is self-contained. But still, shout out to you, Black Mirror, because you're brilliant. 3rd on the list is, I believe it's a Canadian series called Orphan Black. I don't think they've released the 3rd series over here just yet. I don't know if there even is a 3rd series yet, but apparently, according to my mother, there have been rumblings online of a 3rd series, so I don't know if it's been released in America or something, I don't know, but it's a really good series. It has the same level of intrigue and just the right amount of action, similar to Doctor Who, but it's a different kind of sci-fi. Like, it's not all about space and aliens and weirdness, but it's just science. It's like... Wait, I was going to say it's like sci-fi but with science, but no. That's like science fiction with science. Is there some fiction in there as well, by any chance? But it's interesting because as far as I'm aware, not many sci-fi series, or at least not many good sci-fi series have, they don't take this approach. If they're going to be some well-known series, then they're probably just going to do space or time travel and leave it at that. And so at this point, I would give a shout out to Red Dwarf, but I think that would probably be number 6 on the list, because that was a good series. But that was more of a sitcom than anything, but still. But yeah, Orphan Black, it's about clones and science and the ethics of science, and again, high action, high drama. Well, not like Michael Bay level of high action, but still really fascinating, really good for it's food for thought, as well as being a really good show where you watch an episode and think, oh, what's going to happen next? Apart from that one bit where a character whose name I won't spoil in case you haven't watched it gets hit by a car, which you can tell by the wide-angle lens, it's coming from a mile away. No pun intended, because she does get hit by a car. Or it might have been a bus. I don't remember. Anyway, second on this list, and the top 2 on this list, first of all, are really predictable if you know me, and second, this is the cut-off point for live-action shows. The top 2 are cartoons, funnily enough, but they're both demonstrations of just how brilliant the writers of our time are, and how much young audiences have matured. Because the top 2, bearing in mind, they're the same kind of engaging, entertaining programs that are high continuity with heavy levels of action and intrigue. Like, they're cartoons, they're marketed at younger viewers. So, first of all, in second place on this list, Steven Universe, which is currently on Cartoon Network. I think they have new episodes every Thursday, which includes today. Yeah, I got into this less than a week ago, and it's already my second favourite high continuity show of all time. It's absolutely fascinating, though. Most of the main characters are a bunch of sentient gems from space, and I've always had a bit of a fascination with gemstones, so this series just resonates with me hardcore that, and it's also a good representation of gender equality and stuff, because the only male protagonist is, I suppose, I wouldn't say effeminate, but motherly in nature, so it's sort of showing that if you're going to have a male protagonist, they don't have to be, Mr. Macho cries solid diamond but never cries anyway, and Chuck Norris kind of whatever. Like, all the other protagonists, well, all the other main protagonists anyway, are, well, I would say female. I think they're technically genderless but identify as female, or at the very least they use female pronouns. And I think it's the only Cartoon Network program that was ever, that's just been 100% written by a woman. And I respect that, because it's really well written. And this and the next show on this list, both, everything they do is 100% deliberate. Like, if you can see a small detail in the background of one episode, they will probably pick it up a few episodes later and make it a huge plot point, and it's absolute genius. They leave nothing to chance. They make everything they do is completely deliberate, and it's genius. And that applies to the next one on this list as well, in case that wasn't clear. But just for an example, in the very first episode of Steven Universe, you there's a point where they open the freezer of his house, and you can see a bracelet in there, and they make no mention of it. It's just sort of a background detail. But then several episodes later, it becomes a huge plot point for cementing our main protagonist's relationship with his best friend, I suppose is the best way of putting it, because I think they're romantic connotations, but they recognise that they're too young for proper romance, so they're just like, yeah, they're friends and we'll see where it goes. And that's really well done. And I have this personal theory that there's going to be some kind of giant robot humanoid thing from space. It makes sense in context, because up to this point, if they've made a passing joke about something in the dialogue in the same way, they'll probably pick it up a few episodes later and turn it into a full-blown episode. And so, in the series so far, we've had a spaceship that's a giant hand, a giant eyeball that is some sort of probe from space, and Steven has been joking with his friends about how, maybe they're going to have to fight a giant foot at some point. Semantic fields and thematicness. I'm guessing there's some sort of giant robot thing coming, but we will see. That's another good thing about it. Like all these shows, they make you wonder what's going to happen next and theorize, and that's fun. But none more so than the first place on this list. If you know me, you should see this coming. Gravity Falls. It's one of the best TV shows of all time. Like, heavy continuity or not, it's one of my favourite, well, depends if you count Eurovision as a TV show, but it's certainly one of my favourite works of fiction of all time. And it's similar to Steven Universe, except it focuses more on the supernatural rather than the alien futurist kind of aspects of it. And, like, once again, Gravity Falls, literally nothing is left to chance, everything is done deliberately. It's just brilliant in every way. I cannot fault it on anything. Also, one of the recurring antagonists is this triangle guy called Bill Cipher, who's based on the Eye of Providence symbol, the Illuminati symbol, for those who don't words. And he is probably my favourite antagonist of all time. He's just brilliant, but I won't spoil too much, because that's the thing with heavy continuity series is if someone spoils a detail for them, then that basically destroys the entire series for you, and you have to find something else to watch. But yes, I do recommend all 5 of the series on this list. I can't think of anything further to say about Gravity Falls because it's just so brilliant. This current generation, it's broadcast on, I think, Disney XD. So this current generation of kids and young adults and young teenagers, like, they're so lucky to have this sort of stuff on TV because it's brilliant and inspiring for people who want to grow up and be writers, because it's not just the same stories over and over again. There's meaningful stuff and it all connects brilliantly. And the fact that all of these stories, which do stand by themselves, well, in some cases, and the Orphan Black ones don't really, because you kind of need to know what's already happened up to that point, and Torchwood, kind of the same thing, but generally these episodes stand on their own, but they all coagulate together to form one bigger mega plot, and it's so brilliant. I cannot fault Gravity Falls, and I don't think I can say anything bad about Steven Universe either, and Orphan Black's really good as well. Doctor Who has its faults that the fans do bring up from time to time, but I choose to look past it because I just like watching the damn show. I mean, come on, calm down. It's just a TV program at the end of the day. Unless it's not. Anyway, I've been waffling about nothing in particular, so I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and if you're looking for something to watch, look up those 5 programs. They are brilliant, especially the top 2. So